Palestinian folklore is dark, and this one is both incredibly misogynistic and incredibly feminist. A fairy tale about women helping women called the Seven Leavenings. There's an old woman who lives in a hut all by herself. She needs some dough one day, leaves it to rise, goes to the seashore, and sees a man who is traveling to Beirut. She's like, I want to go on a trip, take me with you. And he's like, no, our boat is full. And she goes, okay, well then may your boat never leave this dock. Well, the boat is then not able to leave the dock, and they're like, oh, she cursed us, we gotta take her with us. So they put her on the boat and they're able to sail away, and she gets her trip to Beirut. When she gets there, she doesn't know anybody and she's just hanging around. A man passes her. He's like, come have dinner with me and my wife. So she comes home, has dinner with him and his wife. They don't have any children. They have a great time until the man suddenly brings out a bundle of sticks and starts beating his wife with them. He set to it until he had broken the switches on both his wife's sides. The woman tries to stop him. She says, what are you doing, grandson? And he's like, get back. You don't know how bad this woman's sin is. Better stay out of the way. When he leaves, the woman goes to the poor wife and says, what sin have you committed? And the wife says, I haven't done anything. He does it because I can't get pregnant and he blames me for it. Ugh. The woman says, oh, is that all? Well, don't worry. I'm gonna help you out. Tomorrow, when he comes to beat you, tell him you're pregnant. And she's like, I don't think that's gonna work. And the woman's like, trust me. The next night after dinner, the husband gets out the switches to beat her with, and she says, I'm pregnant. And he says, is that true? And she's like, uh-huh. And from that day on, he stopped beating her. He pampered her. He wouldn't let her do the housework. Whatever she desired was brought to her side. This happens for months, and the old woman stuffs her belly with rags every day to make it look like she's showing. The wife keeps saying, what are we gonna do? We can't keep this up. And the woman keeps saying, don't worry about it. Well, then we're told this man is the Sultan. And so when everyone finds out that she's really far along and she's gonna give birth, they're all like, the Sultan's gonna have a child. And the wife is like, oh God, I'm really nervous now. So the woman goes to a baker, secretly has him bake a bread baby, specifically in the shape of a baby boy. So an anatomically correct doll. Our chick hides the doll, goes home and tells the husband, hey, your wife's about ready to give birth, but no one can come in but me. I'm a famous midwife where I'm from, so stay out here. You don't need to come in. So the woman announces to the Sultan and the whole town that the wife has given birth, but says no one can see the baby for 7 days. On the 7th day, she announces to everyone that she's taking the new mother to the bath with her baby. They bring along one servant, and the woman says to the servant, hey, make sure no dog comes and snatches this away from us when we're in the bath. Well, wouldn't you know, a dog does come along, grab the bread baby, and run away with it, and the servant, who must have not looked too closely, thinks it's a real child and goes running after the dog, screaming, give me back my master's child! The dog eats the child, and she's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And then this man comes out and sees her crying and says, what's wrong? She tells him, and he says, well, my sister just gave birth to twin boys 7 days ago. So he sends for his sister and says, sister, won't you put one of your boys at my disposal? Yes, she said, giving him one of her babies. Like, yeah, sure, I got 2 and they're identical, so yeah, take the extra one. So the servant returns with the real baby and everything is fine. The Sultan's wife is so grateful, and eventually the old woman is like, you know what, I'm gonna go home now. I think my work here is done. I gotta check on my bread. So she goes back. Well, it turns out her dough has not risen until she gets another ride to another city the same way, like by cursing someone's boat when they won't take her. Again, she ends up staying with this man and this wife who don't have kids, and that night after dinner, the man beats the crap out of his wife with sticks. Wait till you hear why this time. The wife tells the old woman, one day I brought home black grapes, I put them on a bone white platter, and I said, wow, how beautiful is the black on white. Then my husband sprang up and said, oh, you've been keeping a black slave for a lover behind my back? The woman protested, I only meant the grapes. What are you talking about? But every day he beats me with sticks because he thinks I'm cheating on him with a black slave. The old woman says, don't worry, girl, I got you. So the next night she brings in some black grapes, puts them on a plate and says, oh, look how beautiful black on white is. The husband says, oh, is that a saying? That's something other people say, not just my wife? Oh, okay, she must not be cheating on me. So the husband stops beating his wife, and after a while, when the old lady is ready to go back home, they're like, stay with us forever, and she's like, no, I gotta go back to my bread. And so they give her tons of food and money and send her on her way, because they're friends now. She gets home, checks her dough, and says, by Allah, it has just begun to rise, might as well take it to the baker. And she took it to the baker who baked her bread. And that's the end of the story. There's so much folklore from every culture that touches on the relationships between husbands and wives and the inequities in most of those cultures where the men have all the power. It seems interesting that both of the abusive husbands in these stories seem to have like a problem with their own potency. Like, the first one can't get his wife pregnant. The second one is worried his wife is cheating on them. And both of them seem to be projecting their insecurities about themselves onto their women. And I love that another woman, an older woman who knows better and has been there, comes in to save the day and help her. And she's the hero of the story. We like her. We don't like the men in the story. We're glad they get tricked. They deserve it. Plus, there's a lot of cool symbolism with kneading bread, waiting for it to rise, a traditionally feminine thing to do in most cultures, creating the bread that sustains everyone, and that it really takes a woman, and a woman who knows what's up, to be able to right society and make it be nourished rather than sick and toxic. At least that's one way of looking at it. Check out my podcast and my book, Dust Spells, a reimagining of the 12 Dancing Princesses. All of the links in the bio if you want to learn more.